Let's see if this works. Let's see if they working with me. Are they working with me today? We gonna see. We in the building. We a little late, but we in here. What's up? What's up? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Your girl came in extra smegular today. Make sure you come in like. Make sure you come in liking. And we're gonna do this thing today. We're gonna review the Matrix. I'm gonna wait for a few of y'all to slide through, and we're gonna get things going. So make sure you slide through, like it, and we'll get things going here soon. I gotta have some stuff going on. Let me take these headphones off so I can hear. Oh. What up? What up? What up? We gonna wait for some Care Bears to slide through. They probably a little grouchy that I'm late and everything. So make sure you come through liking, and make sure you drop where you coming from in the comment. Hey, 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 you got your notification. Word. That's what's up, Tatum. What it do? That's what's up. I'm going to try to wait for a few more folks. And if it's just me and you, it's just me and you, you know? Have you ever seen The Matrix? When you come through, let me know if you've seen The Matrix or not. Are you familiar with this movie? I know a few people's been saying that they haven't been getting their notifications. I think I've been getting shadow banned because of the things that I talk about on my channel. And the powers that shouldn't be don't like when you discuss certain truths about things, or well, state your opinion about certain things. So they just don't like it. They can't appreciate it. It is what it is. But we're about critical thinking around here. We question everything. Excuse me. Yeah, we question everything around here. You know, with the temperatures dropping. No, I did not decide to stop talking about it. No, I might mention a few things, but in this particular live, sorry y'all, but not in full depth in what I'm going to discuss tomorrow. I'm not sure if you're asking, but I probably will be. I mean, me and many, many others. Um, thank you. Me and many others have been experiencing the same thing. Because, like I often say, I follow a lot of people. Hey, what up, though? Um, I follow a lot of people who are, on the same hype. Like, gonna look at it, go, I don't know about you, man, and take it from there. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, when all this started going down, I was just like, what's really going on? It sounds like something else is going on. So what's really hip? And we found out right away. I mean, it doesn't really take much to see the truth of the matter of things if you so want the truth. And that's what made me want to review the Matrix, because Neo in this movie um, definitely had the choice to discover if he wanted to know the truth or not. So it was presented to him as a choice. So, and that's the same thing. And I wanted to point out specific things like I do in my other movies, except I'm not going to be long and dragged out on this one. Excuse my lowest sounding voice, but my allergies are about to whoop my ass right this second. So, y'all get some snacks, get your drinks while I get my allergies together because the temperature is dropping in this room. And as we discussed with different allergies, bacterias, and viruses, under certain temperatures, it triggers certain things that are already in you. And I'm one of those who this is that time of year. So I'll be right back. I'm getting some tissue. Sorry, y'all. It done got super real. My allergies be like, forget what you got going on and who is there. I'm coming through and I'm about to whoop your ass. So what's up? Come outside. That's how my allergies do. My allergies be like, what? That bitch wanna fight? Let's go. Her too. So some matrix acid. I like the cool air and plus I'm sipping some wine. So um I'm gonna be hot. So I haven't been watching the news either. Well, initially, that's what we had to go off of, but going forward, we know what's up now. Um, I busted out all those facts on my other videos. So, I'm not going to do that here because I tend to have a lot of issues when I kick knowledge on my lives. Um, I notice certain videos don't get as much traffic as others. If I'm talking about some you know, like when I do my Takashi video, that video is gonna be booming. You know what I'm saying? But when I talk about trill shit, those are the ones that get like 15 views. You know what I'm saying? Like the Kanye West video, like the Oprah Winfrey video that I did months ago. The thing about this here is this is stuff that I do all the time. It's just I'm just now sharing that with the world. So that's just what it is. A lot of this stuff that people are just now getting into are things that I've been privy to because back in the early 2000s, YouTube was kind of wild. And even back then, I hung out with a lot of crazy, virtually, crazy revolutionary people who, exposed FEMA for what it is. Um, expose the FEMACAMPSs and the COFFINs associated with them and things like that. So, I mean, from all over the world who were really on the shit like back in 08, 09, 2010. So um I said all of that to say, I'm just now feeling comfortable and have enough courage to talk about it. But sometimes, you know, um, you do have to have balance in your life with these types of things. We know what the real is. You know, the thing about it is you can't let it take over your life so much that you lose yourself. You lose what matters. You lose your family time. You can't let these motherfuckers suck your life so dry that you're forgetting how to live. And the thing about that is it could be so frustrating And that's another reason why we're going to talk about the movie The Matrix, because I thought there was a lot of points in there. We're probably not going to go through the whole movie. I'm going to go through the important parts, and then we're just going to talk loosely. But I thought it was really interesting that a lot of the things that Neo went through in the movie are things that we go through when we start realizing the truth about the state of the current affairs. When we pull that curtain back, that Wizard of Oz effect, when Dorothy's dog pulled back that curtain and it was that weirdo old looking man. Well, it's the same thing, except we have a few weirdo old men running this motherfucker. We have a few Mr. Burns on deck. So that's just kind of what it is. So I think we got enough folks in here. It is depressing, especially when you're getting lied to constantly. That's the same energy. What do you mean, the same energy that the Matrix embodied? Do you mean like in regard to like the news? I think some of these types of movies can be great learning tools as in points of reference. Now, the one thing, once they got into talking about Zion, I was like, that's interesting. I'm not really sure. Some things they really didn't go into a lot of depth about. I'm sorry. But certain things like the they, who's Zion, and things like that. Um, Well, the Matrix, okay, so I think we're gonna have who we gonna have in here, and everybody else is just gonna have to catch up. We got 4 people, 3 likes. Let's come in, walk it in the room, like it in here. And if you rock with your girl, make sure you subscribe. And also make sure you hit me up on the gram, because I'm starting to post often again. Um, so make sure you follow me there just for updates and things like that. So I think we should just go ahead and get on into this right quick. Y'all already came through. Andrea be on deck with her unicorn. The rest of y'all be a little petty with y'all unicorns and whatnot. I'm just like, uh, let me see. Somebody just hit me up. I'm gonna tell them, yo, watch my live, fool. Oh, I already showed y'all those videos, so we good. So, like reality versus 3D, three-dimensional and five-dimensional. I mean, we are multi-dimensional beings for sure. Like, I know I'm doing a lot of rambling initially, but I just want to connect with y'all in real time. Oh, 5G. I'm not sure you're talking about five-dimensional beings or a sugar plum. I started to realize that they do. I started to realize that. That's how I'm gonna know it's you. The rebellious one. Hey there. So yeah, Sugar Plum came through dropping the unicorn. I don't know what it is. I just really love unicorns. It is what it is. Maybe it's My Little Ponies or something. Watching that as a little kid, My Little Ponies and Care Bears and all that shit. Um, yeah. So I just really want to hit some key points, and I think those key points will have great conversations. Now, I'm not sure, Tebu, what you're speaking in regard to, in regard to like being a five-dimensional being, because if that was the case, I was going to talk about how this morning I went for this walk about like 5 in the morning, and I had a really like negative situation. It was real thick. And I had to get myself back to that level where I was before all this happened. A nice even Steven level. And I was listening to, the 432 gigahertz and, just trying to get my vibes back right and saging it up and doing my thing. So when I was walking, I saw all these shadows of myself and I had the realization, when you're walking in a light, you can see your shadow and whatnot. And I was just thinking like, wow, that's who I really am. Not this here. That's who I am. That spirit being is who I am. Share if you care, share if you dare. Can you pick your own bears? I think that's a wonderful idea, although I prefer unicorns as the signature. But I think that's a very cute idea considering there's rebels in the building. The sassy do. I know that's right. Yo, listen, I could dig a rebel all day long, all day strong. And I don't want to be in here too long. I don't want to get sleepy on y'all, be yawning on my lives and shit. But we'll just see where the conversation takes us. So let's keep the unicorn too. Let's keep them both, because the Care Bears had their own personalities. Now we're not like all corny and fluffy, but I really truly love the analogy that Dave Chappelle gave in his last special about Care Bears. You know what I'm saying? He was like, because we were trained that way. That's so true. We were trained to give a fuck. We really were. And we just really were. If you're a 80s baby, 90s kid, you were trained to care just like I was. You were trained to help a motherfucker. That's just how we was brought up. We weren't brought up to be fuckheads. Okay? We weren't brought up that way. We weren't. We may have been rebellious. We may, individual ideals and theologies and things that we believe in, but all in all, we even in our hip hop, even in our rap, you had to have some heart. You had to have honor. You had to have there was honor amongst thieves and criminals. Now there isn't. Henceforth, Takashi. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to go in on that. And excuse me sounding like Lois, but let's get into this because your girl is hungry. Okay, so I'm gonna have me a veggie burger, okay? And lay it on down. So, because I've been eating nuts and berries all week, okay? I need something real heavy. Um, so we all know very much the premise of the movie. In the Matrix, oh, and let me get my make sure I'm on deck. Hold on. Hold on. I want to get what I need. Let's see if I can get my other notes. So all notes. It's loading here, y'all. Just give me a second. Notes list. Okay, here's okay. Now let's get into this and then we gotta take care of our biz first. We gotta take care of the biz. We gotta take care of we done you know um connected with the Care Bears. Now we're gonna handle the big get in the action. Yep, the unicorn too, right? Let's see. I'm gonna cook for y'all again. Hey, we are in the middle of getting everything remodeled. The floor is done, the walls painted, everything. I have no kitchen, nothing. But the next kitchen is gonna be on deck. So yeah, a little remix. So it's been a beast around here. That's why I haven't been able to focus on a lot of the things I normally have, is all this hammering and saws and all this noise all the time. And I really prefer a quiet setting with some lo-fi hip hop, okay? But it's been a lot going on, and then working from home, and it's been a lot of everything. So I kind of just had to tune in today. But I watched this movie so much because of my baby brother. Shout out to baby bro. He watched this movie every day, and I think it's because, he's a Pisces. He was born March the 3rd, so he has that thing. I think really in my family was all born with this really strong, almost clairvoyant intuition. Is really strong. It's really, really strong. We know when to tap in and when to tap out. When Jada started in the movie, I didn't like the part two and the threes and all that. My brother very much did. Um, Me myself, I one was good enough. Like, one was deep enough, and it kind of left you there for you to. It forced you to think. You know what I'm saying? It forced you to think, and I think it should have been left off there. And if it was going to continue, I would have preferred a little bit of a different angle than him having this final battle with the theys of the world, I guess. The first one for me was a little easy to understand, and that's what we're going to get into. So, with that said, Andrea, let's get into the action. So, fair use copyright disclaimer. Um, Copyright disclaimer under Section 107, the Copyright Act of 1967. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This video has no negative impact on the original works. Uh, it would actually be a positive for the creators of this works. It is not transformative in nature. Uh, and I only use bits and pieces of the videos to get the point across where necessary. And just to make this a little bit more clear for the dummies in the back, there's my copyright action right there, what I just read off. And we go to the mix. So Neo or Thomas something is your basic everyday American dude, you know, who is working in his medial job, and after work, sounds like me, but after work he is a software writer, where he's a software writer for a company called Mega Cortex. And I meant to break that word down to find out what that means. Maybe we should do that in real time. Let's see what that is. Mega Cortex. Really, when I first saw that, I thought it said Mega Cotex, and I thought of a tampon. Um, your girl, bugs. Uh, but that's what I saw initially. And just the visual of the building was so menacing. Um, so very large. Find out what this is. They're a software development company. Outer layer of cerebrum. Oh, the cerebral cortex, composed of folded gray matter and playing an important role in consciousness. Oh, large consciousness. Deep. Okay. Okay. That's kind of deep. Mega cortex. So we learned something already. So he works for that company, and outside of work, he is basically a hacker. And I don't know, they didn't get into the details because it was only one um example of him, doing his little hacker thing with the guy who came to the door after they did on the computer, Neo wake up. Let me get to the movie so I can show the clips that I want to show. And he gets what I found interesting too is the guy that he sold that information to. The women had this what in the late 90s. If it was futuristic, the jewelry that the women wear I is African, ancient African types of jewelry uh, that connected and all that. A lot of the higher ups in the ancient times wore that type of stuff. So I found that interesting, like in hindsight, because back then I was a little kid, so I wasn't that hip on that. But I just thought that was interesting looking at the ladies in that doorway, uh, how they had that African garb on, but deemed it as a futuristic type jewelry. I thought that was a interesting, and those costume directors. They pull from a lot of different sources when creating a scene. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was interesting. So via the email or the chat that he received from either Trinity or Morpheus, um, advised him to follow the white rabbit. And lo and behold, the lady with the neck stretchy thing had a white rabbit tattooed on her shoulder. And actually was Trinity, as a matter of fact. They meet up in a club, which is a mix between BDSM, mixed with a little ecstasy, mixed with grunge, mixed with I don't know, punk rock. It was just all that blended together. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, my allergies don't give a fuck about nothing. I'm about to sneeze like 30 times. Please forgive me. Thank you for the blessings in advance. So they're in this place, and he's basically rolling with the weirdos, but not interested at all. He would rather be researching. Oh, mind you, when they pan into when they pan into Neo, he's asleep on the computer, and he was researching Morpheus. So that kind of reminded me of the people like us, you know what I'm saying, who's constantly researching, looking for the truth, like that kind of, and for the people in the back who I don't know why I see this so often in my videos, you always bring it back to yourself. I have to do that to create a form of authenticity. You have to pull from personal experiences so you can make it realistic. Um, because the discussion would be some bullshit if you're just pulling shit out of your ass. So I just thought that was interesting that Neo, being that chosen person, was a person who was digging for the truth. And when he ran into Trinity in the club, well, she pulled up on him in the virtual world. It's just like, I know who you are, I know what you about. You need to roll with the winning team, basically. You have all these questions in your mind, and the answer is about to come to your ass. Just come fuck with us. You feel me? Basically. So she gives him instructions. So we'll fast forward all that mystery stuff because we know eventually, um, like a rave, yes, like a rave. It was like, but they were. It wasn't like a rave because a rave is more like with the lights and the hula hoops and the glitter, and so it might be a paint rave. You know what I'm saying? Your girl partied a lot. Okay, it could be a glitter party, a paint party, whatever. A rave seems to be more colorful. Visually, I'll show you. It's right at the beginning. So great. I'll give you that visual so you can have it in your head. You haven't seen the MaTrix? No, that's too far. But actually, the background of the rave, like you're gonna see, it has this Rob Zombie vibe. Really dark, more of a grunge type vibe.
Yeah, sure, I'll go.
See, it's more of a BDSM vibe. It's like a rave, but darker than a rave. So he gets in there, she's hip, and basically he did he wake up out that dream? Yeah, he basically wakes up out that dream there. Uh and he ends up going to work. Where his boss, oh my god, that squeaking of the window was getting on his nerves and it was getting on mine too. But he's basically like, yo, like you're always late, you're a bum, you need to get it together. So he's just like, sir, yes, sir. Let me get back to my cubicle. Boom, he's back in the cubicle. He gets a package. He gets the phone. And basically, it's Morpheus. Oh, I already said we was going to skip that part. So, well, well, yeah, I guess we might as well go through it. We're here now since we discussed it in the rave. So, and he basically gets caught up. So, he gets a package. It's a phone. He gets a call from Morpheus, and basically like, you've been looking for me, and he's like, hell yeah, fool. And he's like, follow these directions, and I'm gonna get you out of here, because basically, for lack of a better description, it's the CIA Men in Black remix came looking for him in his office. So he looks up, and Morpheus gives him instructions to get out, but he ends up leaving in their custody. And as he's leaving in their custody, they take him into this interrogation room, inform him that we know about you. You a square, but really in real life, you a hacker. And basically, you could be on the team or you could be a buster and get rolled over. What time is it? Cause, and he's like, I'm going to show you what. Yeah, like ATU watching.
You pay your taxes. Computers. Where you goats. There's a future.
Give me 1 second, y'all.
Individual. By any authority. All that we're asking in return is you. You can't scare me with this good stuff. I know my rights. I want my phone call.
What that nigga said. So go and handle my business. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright status that may otherwise be infringing, nonprofit, educational, personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. This video has no negative impact on the original works. It will actually be a positive for them. This video is for teaching purposes. It is not transformative in nature. I only use bits and pieces of videos to get the point across where necessary. So I'm going to need YouTube to recognize that and get up off my ass. So anyway, now that they're gone from Metlin, I wanted to show this part. I wanted to show that because to me, he actually, that little thing looked like what a virus looks like under a microscope. One of those patented viruses that they create in the labs to kill us. I think he looks just like that, like a CRISPR. Shout out to um, somebody I learned that from. I don't know if I should be fucking with him or not. Anyway, so that's where he wakes up and he's going back to his normal life. So we're gonna fast forward here. We just gonna fast forward all the way to the action so we can get to the fun part. Because I don't want to be in here all day. I just thought I'd keep it real. So basically, he ends up meeting, they spot him, and because he really wants to fuck with the team, and well, he wants to, but he's scared to admit it. It's kind of like when you start finding out the truth about what's going on around you, it's kind of difficult to accept, and that's the premise of this discussion with this movie, with accepting those harsh truths. I think that's the learning lesson in this particular movie, that realizing that your world isn't actually what how it's presented to you. That's not really the truth. And so I think the harsh things that he went through, us in our day-to-day lives, we go through those same things, except we go through those shits in steps. And what I mean by that is when Neo met Morpheus and he took the red pill, and they had to detect where his body was to actually rebirth him and disconnect him from that matrix. Um, and he basically had rebirthed himself, which we all have to do. Like in this realm and what we're living, we have to take the red pill every day. Every day, like vitamins, you take the vitamin C, your D3, your B12, your B6, and your red pill every day with your smoothie. That's what you do. And I feel like Neo, and not only was it um uh, uh, it was a physical representation of a birth, like the breaking of the water when he busted out that little egg thing. You know what I'm saying? Him like coming into the world. You know what I'm saying? And even the part where he was detaching from that machine, even when he detached himself from that machine, when he got flushed out, that represented also a breaking of water with him coming out, and then him being lifted out by that light claw thing, and then Morpheus then uh being presented as a father with that blurry sense. So again, let me say this again too, so I can show this clip. Um, Excuse my allergies for everybody coming in. Please come in the room liking, dropping that unicorn or a bear of your choice, or just showing your girls some love. But make sure you hit that like button. So because I am being shadow banned, and they're fucking with the algorithm of my channel intentionally because of some of the topics that I discuss in my videos. So again, the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So this is the part that hey Shandaga. So here's the part that I was just discussing, that rebirth and coming into the realization of his role. And what I also found interesting, what did I write my notes? Which ironically resembled childbirth then is brought into life by Morpheus's spaceship. Welcome to the real world. Okay, and one thing that another thing that I you could use this as is once you start realizing, like, let's say for example, like um for people who don't know that the Federal Reserve is, a private entity that basically runs our country. So people who don't know that and hear that for the first time and learn that for the first time, and you go and you tell your friends, like, man, this is fucked up. We got to do something about this. That realization of how many people are just sleepwalking amongst you. I thought that visual presented in this scene here of people in their incubation and totally unaware of what's truly going on, especially with this demic going on. I feel like that is the case too, because you could say whatever it is to you blue in the face, but you know they'll question you before they question the people who actually have the power to cause them harm, and that's what's interesting. And I thought that was a deep analogy there, and then how swiftly the robot alien bug thing came once he was aware of what was going on and how they just flushed him down. So let's take a look at that. Oh, also, what I thought about the other day, before I forget. You see how harshly he was. Let me show y'all right quick. See that coming down the birth canal and being mourning it. Because that's about what it looks like. I mean, when my nephew was born, that's what it looked like when he came out. But the unsnapping, the unplugging, the snatching, 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 snatching. I think that for myself, I took it as, I don't know, maybe an artistic point of view of, and maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but you know, we us people who research this kind of stuff and present it to people and discuss these type of things, that type of specifically the snatching out, the unplugging so swift, so quick, like that, I think that we all go through that, and it's really painful, it's hard, you got to mourn certain realities, and while you're detaching, while you're removing yourself from these things, and as a human being, we're being attacked on so many levels with our health care, our food, our money, our family structures, especially if you're black, things like that, from all angles, right? And I thought, and all going all down his back kind of represented to me like the different chakras, and maybe I'm looking too deep, but that's what I do. And so with that, I felt like that was a good representation of the pain of it, because it was painful. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't a good thing. This wasn't cheerful. This was harsh. This was smacking your ass. Snatch, 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 snatch. We fucking bro. Here you are, like, even at the beginning of it, when Morpheus took him into that simulation and showed him what the world was before he was actually disconnected and reborn. um Neo refused it. fiercely. He refused it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Those are the things that we run into when we're telling people certain things. I don't believe it. Oh, that's some bullshit. Because they would rather believe the people who are rocking them to sleep than the people that is presenting the reality when they ask for it in the first place. So I thought that was interesting. And with his rebirth, it's very painful, as it was for myself. Like, I had to mourn the religion that I was in, a lot of things, as we all do when we start coming into the realization of what the fuck is actually going on around us. And I think that snatching of the cords, because our lives aren't in a 2-hour movie. We live whole real lifetimes. So I think for a 2-hour movie, I think that was a good representation of what a person actually goes through when they um, detach themselves from our matrix. Do I consider life a simulation? Are we a page pegs of a big computer system? Not to come off geekish. Great point. I do think we are in some kind of simulation. For myself, yes, we are under many different types of projects. Actually, um, we I wouldn't say a software per se, but who fucking knows? You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's that. You know what I'm saying? But I do think it is. Like, there's different projects. Project Artichoke, Project Bluebeam, um, ID 2020 Alliance, Event 201. Those are the recent ones. MK Ultra. Well, Project Artichoke turned into MK Ultra. There are many, many projects. Project. Damn, why aren't any of them coming to me? They're all like meshed together in my head in this like knot of different projects that I've read about. And I can't seem to snag not one other name out the bunch. But there's many, many, many projects that has been implemented on us in different ways. The crack epidemic. I mean, if we just keep it black for a second, the crack epidemic. I mean, if we go universally, um, the opioid epidemic. I mean, really, getting into my universal mind, they're afraid of black and white folks getting together and whooping their motherfucking ass is what they scared of, because it's more of us than them, and we can really do some damage if we realize our power. Keeping it black for a second, you know, or keeping it black always. Okay, let's say that. Um, there's different systems like the Willie Lynch syndrome. The fact that the things that black folks go through, like with the Trayvon Martin thing, and basically like he sacrificed his whole kid, the dad. You know what I'm saying? But how they amped up what was already going on in the black community to use it as a divide and conquer mechanism. And that's basically what happened. They ramped up the racism super tough. Although these were pre existing issues, they weaponize that issue as a distraction to what's really going on. And I am, the more I read, the more I look, there's a multitude of things that's going on simultaneously right now, with the people that run these different corporations that they call countries. But let's get right back into it. I mean, well, the reality of it is, Andrea, it is happening to us. The thing about it is, we're going to have to figure out if we're going to roll over or be the ones to fight. I'm going to definitely be one of the ones who survive. because I just am taking pretty much a George Carlin stance on it, while still trying to do my due diligence and letting everyone know what the fuck is really up once I figure out what's up. You know what I'm saying? But to also give points of reference, so because that might lead you somewhere that I was on a whole nother path. Because when we find these truths, what I've learned over the years is people find certain truths and it leads them on their path, and not any less or more important than the last person, but what information somebody could share with somebody else could have them look inside and see what their path is. You feel what I'm saying? How they could be for the better good of all of us. You know, I could give you this information at Real Talk and Healthy Food because that's my lane. You know what I'm saying? That's my general interest. You see what I'm saying? Um, and I'm working on a garden and all kind of things right now to expand my knowledge. You know, my prayer is to be a herbalist and along those lines. But the information I provide to you might be a person who's into law and is really using that talent. You might be a researcher, you might be whatever, but that's what's gonna get you on your shit. You feel me? You might be on whatever you're interested in. But back into the movie, so he gets rebirth. They pull him into the light that I was telling y'all about. Like when the baby's born out the coochie, they come into the light. Then Morpheus is there, and it's like kind of like a baby. Got all the shit on him. Like, that totally looks like a childbirth. So what I also found interesting is their names. Like Trinity, her name, the woman's name is Trinity. It's a state of three. And I see Morpheus as the father, which morph is the change smoothly from one image to another. And ES is reassembling and reassembling the display of nature. And I found that interesting too, because even his demeanor, even his voice, embodied Morpheus altogether. His smoothness, the way he dressed, even the bald head altogether. Um, I found that interesting. And then Neo, of course, meaning new, which he is bringing into um I don't know. I don't want to say a new world order. That sounds crazy and creepy, but like a new life, a new birth. You know what I'm saying? So so once Neo is ready to meet the crew, he is introduced to what the Matrix actually is, and in this case, um, it is a construct and a loading program that can implement anything that they need. So, they're basically living these false realities. And just like us now, we're living these false realities. John Sally made a good point when on Vlad TV on an interview where he said, in China, the difference between America and China is we know our government owns everything. The difference between us and y'all is basically y'all think that you own something, but really the government owns fucking everything. And that couldn't be more factual. Uh, I mean, it just couldn't be more factual. Um, so in this case, la 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 la, and he was basically hipping him that this is a mental projection of your digital self, which I thought that was also deep. Yes, he does represent a father figure, especially during that last fight scene. Let's see. Facing reality often scares people that, oh, the desert of the real. Okay, that's what he's showing you. I skipped all of that in the beginning of humanity's discussion. Okay, so what I wanted to skip to too, and these are just the mega points. Like for somebody who's like looking for all this, these are the parts that I wanted to break down right here. Because your girl is not trying to be on here forever. I just wanted to discuss this and how it correlates with our life, and then you to go back and watch it maybe with that perspective. You know what I mean? So um AI, the beginning of humanity's destruction, they were never truly defined. Oh, they was never truly defined, but I said that at the beginning of the video. AI being the beginning of destruction, I found that also very interesting for it to be 1999 and them discussing AI, where now in 2020, that's 100% our reality. We have little mini robots via the Alexa and Siri and Katana and all those things, all these little listening devices that are catering to our wants and needs. You know what I mean? I mean, we're even getting our food delivered to the house. You know what I'm saying? Not like, oh, let's order a pizza or some Chinese. Like, you could get all the shit. So, all these conveniences later on, I believe, will turn into hindrances, if that's even a word, but they can hinder you in the long run. And I think it's really important for us to get back to the times of old. Another point that I wanted to mention was when Morpheus pointed out to him that basically these alien bug robot things basically turn people into, because he showed a battery in that moment, and basically turning them into an energy source, which I also found interesting as well, because especially during this lockdown, um, I'm not even gonna go there, but especially with this lockdown, um, what I found interesting is just kind of like 1984, like you're used for your work sources only, and then you get back to your crib or wherever you're at, like in like, oh, the better example that I had, I was just getting sleepy right then. This is what I wanted to avoid. That's why I'm not going to be on here long. The real analogy was the fear mongering that we're experiencing now, just like how in that in that clip where you saw all those bulbs that where they planted, or not planted, well, basically created people for their energy source. The fear mongering that's going on is bringing the world's vibration low. And those entities, I don't know if you watch my Kanye West video, but like I said in that video, I think you should watch that. When you're on a lower frequency, you attract that kind of shit. So you, and especially nowadays, you are going to have to ensure, excuse me, your you work on your vibes, your frequency level, whether it's you being prayed up, whether it's you, whatever it is that you believe in, you're going to have to make sure you're doing that now. And whatever that is for you. But either way, you're going to have to ensure that that frequency level is real and you're tuning in. You're intentionally tuning in to some positive shit that will benefit you. And also, I would even go as far as to say, when you go to bed, listen to 432 gigahertz. Research that. And I think there's another gigahertz that is like a really cheerful one, which it might be 587. But look that up, because I know I listen to that and I be feeling good. Get outside and get some sun. You know what I'm saying? But I got off track because your girl's getting a little sleepy. Oh, also, they also mentioned another point, feeding the dead to the living. So when they create these human beings, they take the decomposed bodies, turn it into a liquid, and feed it into the babies. I thought that was ill, and maybe this is just me thinking too deep, but I was basically thinking about, like, for example, the, like, crack epidemic, for example. You create this, the powers that shouldn't be create this thing, and it targets a community, right? Oh my God, where's my analogy? Feeding the dead to the living. Basically, like the crack epidemic when it came through, and then it but those children became the drug dealers, and then we got the Jay-Z's of the world, but they was like, in the 90s it was a little bit more balanced, but then you take that experience and then turn it into another exaggerated experience, which feeds the youth and to making them think that drug dealing is okay. Whereas at first, oh my God, yo mama sell it, yo mama's on crack rock, to, now the son is selling that shit on reasonable doubt, to, that's the expectation. You see what I'm saying? Of one culture. So recycling the cycles of these types of systems, these small, not these small entities, but these entities that create these systems that has this hamster wheel effect for certain communities. And I thought that line, feeding the dead to the living, was a really good thing to point out because we see that often within the Black community. Um, so I thought that was really deep too. Um, AI, the beginning of humanity's destruction. I think that's definitely something because even that little female robot that they created, like these robots, as a matter of fact, there's an article where the robots are learning how to fix themselves by their motherfucking self show. So this is some old iRobot action. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It's getting kind of weird. Getting weird. And another part that I wanted to discuss too is when dude wanted to go back when he was eating the steak, and he was just like he wanted to go back into the thing. Listen, I felt that on a deep level because with all this stuff, I was very nostalgic. My anxiety was on high. It was just so much going on. And me and my brother was talking about that and busted jokes like, yo, but then there's something inside that once you're exposed to the truth, you just can't stop. Like, I can't stop, like, can't stop for real. So I thought those were some interesting points. Um, it has been an hour. Those are the points that I really wanted to discuss with you guys in correlation to our lives. I would even to go as far as to say, watch that movie, rent that movie. It's only $7.99 if you could do that. If you can. If not, don't worry about it. You can look for a free option on YouTube. And then also look into reading George Orwell's 1984, and also a Brave New World is also a good source. And if you can't do any one of those, go to Thug Notes on YouTube and type that in, or listen to the audiobook on YouTube as well. And I said that to say because it's like our worlds are coming in really close, and the powers that be, are not going to forget how easy it was to make everybody stay in the house and go in the house. Like, and you need to look up Event 201, straight up facts. But yeah, those are the points that I wanted to check out because they're very relatable to us nowadays and with what's going on. I mean, it definitely is it's definitely worth a look. So yeah, I am getting so sleepy. What you said, that's a thought, but I want to move on to other things. And maybe I can do a part two tomorrow night. But honestly, to keep it funky, I am getting sleepy. And I really did hit the points that I really wanted to discuss. I didn't go blow by blow like I would do on the other videos, but I think that's the point. I mean, what do you think? What do you think? I mean, I does it doesn't seem like a lot of you guys really have seen the movie before. I think I watched it so much that's why I'm speaking so candidly about it. Oh shit, I'm starting to yawn. Oh yeah, it's time for me to go. I'm not going to yawn on all my lives. Listen, y'all. So I don't have no kitchen, so we're not cooking live, but I'm making tuna or vegan tuna, if you will, for the week with tomatoes and cucumbers and salad. I'm fasting. Well, fasting. Um, I'm just eating the nuts and trail mix when I just can't take it anymore, but mostly liquids until the evening, and then healthy choice because you gotta keep that area clean so you don't get sick. Yeah, that's as far as I'm gonna go into it today. I didn't really go that deep into it, to be honest. I really didn't. But I feel like these points are the highlight points. If you were to go back and rewatch the movie, those are the highlight points. I mean, the beginning of that and how it relates to your regular human experience. Critique the movie 300. Oh shit. Movie 300 was this is Sparta. Wow. He kicked that motherfucker. And all his earrings. Was it to do with the earrings? And all that shit on? That fool was a weirdo. I heard that was based off of something kind of true. Oh, here I go with the yawns. 300, 300. What did I want to do? I don't know. Uh, I don't know right now. 300. That would be a fun one. No, I wanted to review the movie 1984. It was the bomb. It was the bomb. It was the bomb.com. It was the bomb. That motherfucker kicked that. This is Sparta. Yo, that was the most gangster shit I had ever seen. He didn't give a fuck about none of that. Booted that nigga off the cliff. A Greek mythology? Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that one. That could be a good learning thing though for myself. I'm gonna think about that. I mean, hell, they not fucking up my life today. That's what I was really nervous about. That's what I was really nervous about because you just never really know. You know what I'm saying? But listen though, I'm sorry that wasn't. Well, I'm not sorry. I think I hit the points right just where I wanted to hit them. It wasn't like super dragged out. It was right all on all the stuff that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I am about to be out of here. I am so tired, and it's definitely always fun kicking it with y'all, man. Straight up, that part. It did. It did. I didn't even get into the Oracle or the kids and things like that. I think I might have to do a part two tomorrow. We gonna see. We gonna see. I might have to do a part two because I didn't talk about that training or the kids or the Oracle or nothing. But I thought these key points were really um relevant to today. Just stick to the movies, viewpoints, and meals. You got it, dude. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you for sticking it out to the end. You are the bomb.com. I'm sorry I don't got all the juice, to, go longer and everything. But we hit the point. We got to the point and we out. I mean, that's just what it is. I'll be dropping some videos this weekend for sure. And I'll if I'm not live tomorrow, uh if I'm not doing a part two, I could at the very least just go live and kick it with y'all. But we gotta watch what I say. I gotta watch what I say. So maybe we could talk about some like not so deep stuff, maybe, so I don't get fucked with all the time. Well, anyway, y'all, peace, love, hair grease, and all that jazz. Make sure you get some sun. Make sure you tune into my next videos. Make sure you like on your way out. Watch some of my old videos. You know what I'm saying? Check out the hip hop and slavery video. You'll have to go onto my channel and scroll through the videos. I always suggest the Kanye West and the Oprah Winfrey video because I put work into those. But outside of that, I hope y'all have a good night, and be safe. Not because of this bullshit. I mean, just be safe in general because it's real life. All right, peace, love, and hair grease, all that jazz. I'll see you on the gram. I'm out, y'all. Thank you, Care Bears. Share if you care. Share if you dare, especially if you're a Care Bear. I'm out, y'all. Thanks for the love.